What if ancient prophecies of the 7 plagues weren't just stories from the past, but signs meant for our time? Imagine these warnings unfolding right now, not as distant myths, but as a reality we might be living through. The 7 plagues prophecy has fascinated people for centuries, appearing in religious texts like the Bible and often viewed as symbolic warnings for humanity. But today, with the world facing growing challenges, disease outbreaks, climate change, natural disasters, some wonder if these prophecies are coming to life in real time. In this video, we're going to uncover the details of each of the 7 plagues and examine how they might connect to events around us today. From global pandemics to environmental crises, we'll explore what each plague represents and whether these ancient prophecies are speaking directly to our world. Stay tuned to see how history, mystery, and modern-day events might be more connected than we think. The prophecy of the 7 plagues is one of the most intriguing parts of the book of Revelation in the Bible, often interpreted as a vision of challenges humanity might face as warnings or signs of significant change. These plagues, described in vivid detail, represent a series of catastrophic events believed to impact the world on a large scale. For centuries, scholars, theologians, and curious minds alike have debated their meanings, seeing them as either symbolic messages or potential real-world events. What keeps people returning to this prophecy is its striking alignment with issues that feel increasingly relevant in modern times. Unlike many ancient texts, which can feel distant and unrelated, the 7 plagues echo some of the major global concerns we face today, from public health crises to environmental breakdowns. In this video, we're diving into each of these 7 warnings, taking a close look at what they symbolize and how they could potentially mirror the challenges of our current world. Are these plagues a glimpse of our future, or are they simply age-old symbols of struggles humanity has always faced? Let's explore each one and see what they could mean for us today. The first of the 7 plagues is described as a sudden spread of disease and pestilence, a sweeping illness that impacts humanity on a massive scale. In ancient texts, this was often depicted as a curse on those who defy divine will. While it may sound distant, many people see parallels between this prophetic warning and our experiences today with modern pandemics. In the last century alone, we've witnessed several significant health crises, with COVID-19 being the most recent and impactful example. Within months, it spread to nearly every corner of the world, affecting millions of lives and changing how we live, work, and connect with others. This global outbreak put unprecedented strain on healthcare systems, exposed vulnerabilities in public health, and reminded us just how quickly disease can reshape society. However, COVID-19 isn't the only recent example. We've also seen the Ebola outbreak in West Africa, the Zika virus spreading across Latin America, and the resurgence of other infectious diseases due to changing global conditions. Scientists and health experts continue to warn that as the world becomes more interconnected and human activity disrupts natural ecosystems, the risk of new and potentially even deadlier pandemics may increase. The prophetic language about disease and pestilence speaks to a warning that feels very much like our present reality. The question now becomes, is this just a cyclical occurrence, or does it mark the beginning of something larger? As we explore these prophecies further, keep in mind how each of these warnings might echo the world we're living in today. The 2nd plague describes a catastrophic event affecting the oceans, turning water to blood and resulting in mass death among marine life. While this imagery might sound extreme, the underlying message is a warning about large-scale contamination of the world's waters, an issue that's highly relevant in today's environmental landscape. Currently, our oceans face a crisis due to pollution, overfishing, and climate change. Scientists report that vast regions of our oceans are becoming dead zones, areas where oxygen levels are so low that marine life struggles to survive. These dead zones have grown significantly over the past few decades, largely due to human activities such as agricultural runoff and industrial waste. According to the United Nations, pollution alone dumps millions of tons of plastic and chemical waste into the oceans every year, threatening entire ecosystems. Climate change also intensifies this issue by raising ocean temperatures, disrupting marine habitats, and causing coral bleaching. This phenomenon not only endangers the coral reefs, known as the rainforests of the sea, but also puts entire food chains at risk. According to recent studies, nearly 90% of the world's coral reefs could disappear in the next few decades if we continue down this path. These alarming trends make the prophecy of a poisoned ocean feel less like an ancient metaphor and more like a real-world crisis unfolding in our time. As we continue exploring the 7 plagues, keep in mind how each warning may echo these critical issues, urging us to consider the environmental consequences of our actions on a global scale. The 3rd plague warns of a devastating impact on freshwater sources, describing rivers turning undrinkable and the scarcity of clean water. This is a particularly powerful warning because, unlike oceans, freshwater is essential for daily survival. While ancient readers may have seen this as a distant threat, today's reality brings this prophecy much closer to home as water scarcity becomes a growing issue worldwide. Currently, billions of people face challenges accessing clean, safe drinking water. In many regions, rivers, lakes, and reservoirs, the primary sources of fresh water, are drying up or becoming polluted due to industrial waste, agricultural chemicals, and the overuse of water resources. The World Health Organization recently highlighted that over 2 billion people lack access to safe drinking water at home, a crisis exacerbated by rapid urbanization, population growth, and increasingly climate change. The problem is especially acute in areas facing severe droughts. Regions like California, parts of Australia, and several African countries have struggled with prolonged droughts that deplete reservoirs and strain local water supplies. As temperatures continue to rise and rainfall patterns become more unpredictable, scientists predict that these water shortages could intensify, potentially affecting billions more. The prophecy of poisoned rivers may sound like ancient imagery, but the concept of vanishing clean water feels increasingly modern. This plague serves as a reminder of just how fragile our freshwater resources are, and the urgent need to protect them to sustain life. The 4th plague foretells a time when the sun scorches people with intense heat, a vivid and unsettling image that has become all too familiar in recent years. While ancient interpretations might have seen this as a symbolic warning of divine wrath, today it's easy to draw connections to the real and measurable phenomenon of climate change and rising global temperatures. Scientists worldwide have been sounding the alarm about the warming planet, with record-breaking temperatures becoming the new norm. Over the past century, the Earth's average temperature has risen by about 1.2 degrees Celsius, largely due to human activities like burning fossil fuels and deforestation. While this might not sound like a large increase, even small temperature shifts have huge impacts on weather patterns, leading to extreme heat waves, wildfires, and droughts that disrupt ecosystems and human life. In recent years, countries across the globe have experienced unprecedented heat waves. From the United States to Europe and South Asia, soaring temperatures have broken records, straining power grids, worsening water shortages, and leading to heat-related health crises. According to the World Meteorological Organization, the years from 2015 to 2022 have been some of the hottest on record, with many experts predicting that extreme temperatures will only become more common in the future. This fourth plague's warning about scorching heat serves as a reminder of the importance of addressing climate change. While it might once have seemed like ancient imagery, today's reality makes it clear that the effects of a warming planet are already here and demand immediate action to prevent further harm. The fifth plague brings a sense of darkness, not just physical darkness, but often interpreted as a symbolic loss of morality and integrity within society. Traditionally described as a period of moral decay, it can evoke a time when values and ethical principles are challenged, leading to widespread confusion and division among people. In today's context, this idea resonates deeply as societies around the world grapple with issues that test moral boundaries and societal cohesion. One way this darkness manifests in modern times is through the rise of misinformation and the erosion of trust in once stable institutions. The spread of false information on social media has contributed to confusion, polarizing communities, and creating deep divides. According to recent studies, misinformation is on the rise, with platforms struggling to contain the spread of misleading content that has real consequences for public opinion and social stability. Additionally, events such as political corruption, corporate scandals, and growing economic disparities have led to widespread disillusionment and mistrust. More people are questioning the integrity of leaders and systems that are meant to uphold justice and equality. A 2023 global survey revealed a significant decline in trust in major institutions, with many expressing concerns about ethics and accountability. This idea of moral darkness may seem abstract, but it's increasingly relevant in our world today. The prophecy of the fifth plague serves as a reminder of the importance of upholding values and truth in an era where information, trust, and ethical integrity are under threat. As we continue through the plagues, consider how each one might be a warning about the world we're building and the society we choose to uphold. The sixth plague is a vivid warning about widespread conflict and war, traditionally described as nations rising against each other and chaos spreading across the globe. In ancient times, this might have been seen as a foretelling of battles to come, but today it feels strikingly relevant as international tensions and conflicts escalate, with far-reaching consequences that affect us all. Around the world, conflicts have intensified, whether it's long-standing geopolitical rivalries, territorial disputes, or ideological clashes. Major powers are in a constant state of strategic competition, often leading to economic, political, and sometimes military confrontations. A 2023 report from the Global Peace Index indicated that global peace has declined for the past 5 years, with civil unrest, political instability, and conflicts on the rise in various regions, including Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. The rise of advanced military technology, cyber warfare, and nuclear weapons also increases the stakes, making conflicts today potentially more devastating than ever before. These new threats have led many experts to warn of the possibility of large-scale wars that could have unimaginable consequences. According to a United Nations report, about 80 million people worldwide are currently displaced due to war and violence, highlighting how deeply these conflicts impact human lives. The prophecy's warning about war and global conflict is a sobering reminder of the fragility of peace and the costs of international strife. As we face an era of heightened tension and division, the sixth plague serves as a call to seek diplomacy and understanding in a world where conflict seems ever present. The seventh and final plague speaks of cataclysmic natural disasters, earthquakes, storms, and other powerful events that shake the very foundation of the earth. In prophetic texts, this imagery often represents ultimate upheaval and devastation, an end-of-days scenario. Today, as natural disasters become more frequent and intense, this warning feels more relevant than ever, echoing the challenges of a planet under stress. In recent years, we've seen an increase in extreme weather events worldwide. Hurricanes are growing stronger, wildfires more frequent and uncontrollable, and floods and droughts more widespread. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, reported that the last decade has seen some of the most costly and deadly natural disasters in recorded history. From record-breaking wildfires across California and Australia to devastating hurricanes in the Atlantic, these events have caused massive loss of life, displaced communities, and destroyed entire ecosystems. Moreover, the link between climate change and the frequency of natural disasters is well documented. Rising global temperatures lead to more intense storms, unpredictable weather patterns, and rising sea levels, all of which increase the severity of these disasters. For instance, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, has stated that if global warming continues at the current rate, the world could face even more catastrophic events within the next few decades, placing millions of lives and livelihoods at risk. The prophecy of natural disasters isn't just an ancient vision. It's a pressing reality that underscores the need for action on climate change and disaster preparedness. This final plague serves as both a warning and a wake-up call, urging us to take responsibility for our impact on the planet and to prepare for the challenges that lie ahead. As we conclude the journey through these 7 plagues, it's clear that these warnings may hold powerful insights for our world today. As we've explored, the 7 plagues prophecy from ancient texts covers everything from disease and environmental collapse to moral decline, war, and natural disasters. Each warning seems to echo challenges that are increasingly present in our world today, making these ancient visions feel eerily relevant to modern times. But the question remains, are these events mere coincidences, or could these ancient warnings actually hold real implications for our future? Could these prophecies be urging us to pay attention, to consider the consequences of our actions, and to be more aware of the world around us? If this exploration made you think, remember that knowledge is the first step toward awareness. Stay curious, stay informed, and don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content like this. Turn on notifications to join us as we dive into more mysteries, insights, and ideas that shape our understanding of the world. Thanks for watching.